Anyone who has children should be watching this video, irrespective of if they are in England, Ireland, UK, anywhere in the UK, America, Australia or New Zealand, or Germany. Or in fact, there is so many people that should be concerned about this video of what I'm about to expose. First of all, I'm going to expose what psychiatrists are employed to do within the family law court system. I'm also going to expose how 18 judicial people are high-class thieves. Now, it's not just my case. I have been exposing this all over the world, and in fact there are millions of people who are denied justice within the family law court system. The idea is for these high-class citizens who are lawyers or judges or psychiatrists to thieve your hard earnings that you have had throughout your life. They will continue with your family law case and they will deny you justice until such time as you have lost everything. If at the end of it you have survived the torture that they have presented throughout these proceedings, then maybe, if you've kept quiet about it, then maybe they will actually provide you your child. Now, it doesn't matter. I'll be able to prove to you that all I have done is I have thrown an envelope, and for that throwing of an envelope and due to fraud on the court, I have had to have over 19 appearances within family courts or state courts in relation to this case, and each time lawyers actually get paid to actually thieve monies from society. I swear by Almighty God that this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. The reason I'm swearing this on the Bible is that if I am lying whatsoever, that this is used against me in a court of law. This is high-class treason and high-class thievery of a judicial system. So what I'm going to do now is explain how it is not possible in a family court, and I'm going to make references to Australia because I am in Australia. However, this happens globally, that we are not permitted to speak of this corruption outside of a family law court. It's up to the judicial officers to make sure that this is not exposed. Now, in Australia, I can actually go to jail for actually speaking about my family law case. The only place that you have no right to freedom of speech is, of course, within the family law courts. The reason is because in there, that is where high society steal low society money. Now you might think, oh well, I'm medium class. Well, I used to have a business where I used to employ up to 90 staff at a time. I had it throughout Queensland, so approximately 1,700 kilometres between the businesses that I had, and I used to take millions of dollars worth of turnover per year. No one, irrespective if you have money, what happens is these lawyers, irrespective of if you have a lawyer representing you, they are part of the system, and the system is designed to ensure that all the money is expended throughout your case. It's no point, and it doesn't make any business sense when there is money available to a lawyer that they say goodbye and work on the next case. The idea is to ensure that all money is gone from your case and that you are utterly destroyed, so that way you either die or that you are so destroyed and mentally destroyed and fatigued that you can't present this case and expose what these criminals are doing. Now, you may think that this is a police matter. It probably is. You may think that it is a judicial matter and that you have the right to appeal. You may think that, but the thing is I will prove within the other videos, the latter videos, that this is not true at all. And in fact, I'm going to prove immediately to you that a family law court is not there to provide justice. It is not there to actually determine if someone is lying, and in fact, it is not there for the interests of children. Many are not aware that there is these criminals within the family courts, and in fact they don't understand, and be careful of that word, if a magistrate asks you, do you understand, in the Black's Law Dictionary it means, do you stand under? In other words, do you accept? And what they do is they say, do you understand? And so you say, or do you understand what I am saying? And it means, do you accept what I am saying? So be very, very careful that you do not stand under what they are presenting to you within a family law court. Federal Magistrate Denmark, on the 19th of July, she even proves that she is going to allow fraud on the court, and this is high treason, in which every Commonwealth country of the world is under common law as being the higher authority than any law that has ever been written. She states in paragraph 3, I have no interest in these criminal matters. They are not for me to determine. They are not for me to prosecute. I do not intend to make any comment with respect to whether an offence or offences have occurred during the course of the trial by me or by any other person. This judge has actually committed treason by denying justice within a family law court. These family law courts have no interest in determining whether laws have been broken, whether someone is guilty or not of bringing illegal activities within a courtroom, and these magistrates are not going to determine whether someone is lying or not. So the thing is people take advantage of the situation, and there is absolutely nothing you can actually do to ensure that your innocence is protected. She also goes on and says, I am not at all clear as to whether that this is an application for me to recuse myself on a basis of apprehended bias and manifested bias. Now, she actually didn't use those words. She actually used on a basis of bias or apprehended bias. The thing was I have shown her all the criminal activities that has happened within this court case. The children's lawyer is there to ensure fairness. Now, I will prove that there is an enormity of collusion within the judicial officers, and the reason that they actually do it. So this is interesting. You have a judge who doesn't want to deal with any of the criminal activity, or even expose it, or even look at it, and I can prove that. You've got a children's lawyer who doesn't want to ask questions even of the mother of any of the activities, illegal activities that she has conducted, even though that there's enormous proofs in front of the court. That doesn't matter. And they are supposed to be unbiased, and they actually take the role of the juries. But it's not in their interest to actually speed these cases along because otherwise they're not making money. So then you've got the police. The police, you can go down there 8 times as I have, and you continuously go down there and you say, well, look, you know, I've got all these criminals, and they'll say, I'm sorry, well, we don't deal with it. And then you feel as though, well, I've got an appeal. But then when you're denied appeal and your lawyer is removed from you and all this type of caper, wow, you know, you have got no chance at home. And especially if the mother works for the Department of Justice. And the thing is then you realize, well, hey, this is pretty crooked. Anyway, I will show you all that. let's get into the psychiatrist and his way of actually dealing with the family law courts. Now, what these doctors do, well, they're called magistrates, but they pretend that they're doctors. What they do is they make a medical assessment on you, and the thing is they cannot do it. They are not medical practitioners. If they try it, you appeal it. You cannot reason with these people. They will continue to harm you if you continue to allow them. The idea is to appeal and appeal and appeal, otherwise you will be stuck. And the thing is you will be able to maintain and keep quiet. I kept quiet for 3 years. I kept quiet for before I actually got onto Facebook, got onto complaining to governments, and I have never, in my 40 years of life, I have never complained to a government department. I have never been on the dole. I have never been a burden to society. I have been a business person. I have served my country, and irrespective, it does not matter in a family law court. Now, if you go and see the psychiatrist, let's say you get scared, you go and see the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist gets you to fill in a form. Now, on that form it says that you won't actually record the conversations that you have with him, and you start to wonder, and you think, well, why don't they want you to record the conversations? And the thing is when they're the only person who actually can suggest, oh, you're sick or you're not sick, and you start to think, well, this is interesting, you know. And so when you know that it's going to be corrupt even before you walk in there, because your barrister's been thrown out and given a $9,999 bill, and basically ordered out of the courtroom, and transcripts are altered, well, you start to think, well, there is something wrong here. Anyway, so now, who appoints these psychiatrists? What it is legal aid have a women's legal aid. They don't have a men's legal aid. Now, what this women's legal aid does is they actually have the psychiatrists, and they have who they're going to recommend to the courts. And so then they have the children's lawyers, and they are the ones who recommend which children's lawyers are going to be used in these federal courts. Then you have also the lawyers, the children's representatives, or the family report writers, and they are recommended and paid for by women's legal aid. Now, you then also have to scratch your heads when the mother works for the Department of Justice, is employed, and she's getting 10 times over what they require, you know, what is allowed in the family court. And then also, because the fraud on the court is ignored for so many court cases, what happens is that gives legal aid to the option of continuing your legal aid or not. And what happens is because it's all ignored, your legal aid is removed. Now, when you look at the financials, the end of year financials, they actually have it that the men get equal portions to what the or even just a bit more than what the women get. Now you think, oh, well, that's fair, but when you actually read into it, you realize that 90% of our prisons contain men with criminal charges. And the thing is it's the actual criminal side that majority of the monies that goes to men actually goes that way, rather than in the family law. So the thing is the family law for men, they get external lawyers, and the thing is if they're not recommended by legal aid, well then obviously, you know, you don't get them. So the whole judicial system is basically biased, even, and then when you want to complain about it, you ring or you even Google Department of Men's Affairs, and even Google says, do you want Department of Women's Affairs? And the reason is because there is no Department of Men's Affairs, only women's. And the thing is you start to realize that this whole thing is extremely biased. This whole presentation, you'll see how corrupt the judicial system is. I recommend that you go through it all, and if you have children, well then please place this on at least 10 walls once you've seen this first video, and proceed to watch the rest of them. Thank you.